If I can have everybody's attention, we're going to go ahead and start our meeting tonight. And if you could, I'd ask you to stand and we'll have an invocation. Let us pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this day, and we want to thank you for the opportunity to gather here. We want to thank you for the men and women that are with us tonight that have served as our country, and we are so glad that they are here, and we can take the time to honor them tonight. We ask that you be with us all, that you direct us and you give us strength and courage. We ask that you allow us to do the business of the city and to do it to the best of our ability and to do what's best for this community. Watch after this community. Give us all the strength and courage, and we thank you in your Son's name, amen. Amen. Let the record show that we're all here. We have a quorum. We'll call the meeting officially to order, and I'm going to impose on Mr. Jerry Bruton to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, Mr. Bruton. It is at this time of our meeting that we're always glad to welcome visitors and receive public comment. We want to thank everybody for being here tonight, veterans and their wives and your escorts, I guess so to speak, the young ladies in the back that have helped some of the gentlemen to be here. We're glad that you're all here. We appreciate you taking the time to join us. We're glad the staff's here. Mr. Thornton, Mr. Gill, we're glad that you're all here. We take a minute at this time in our meeting to receive public comment. If there's anybody in the audience that would like to make public comment at this time, then we'll open the floor for that. If not, we're going to go ahead and get started with our meeting. The first thing that we would like to do is to honor you, the veterans of our community. And like I said, I thank you for being here tonight, and I appreciate your time and your service. I have a little something I'd like to read for the record. And it says, this evening we take a moment to honor you, a very special group of Americans, our veterans. Your sacrifice in the name of peace and freedom makes this nation what it is today. By your sacrifice, you give us strength and courage. We are in the company of American heroes who set aside other pursuits and answered the call to serve this nation. Americans owe you, our veterans, a great debt. The service of veterans spans every decade, every year, and every day of our country's existence. Through untold courage and sacrifice, American veterans have secured the liberty which the Founding Fathers sought to establish here in the New World. Whenever and wherever the nation has called, in times of darkness and danger, as well as in times of peace and prosperity, Americans' veterans have been there. Veterans have proudly carried the torch of liberty for all to see. Through the centuries, America has been a symbol to the world, a symbol of a higher ideal. Millions of people around the globe still look to the United States of America for the hope and promise of something better. And just as this nation has depended on its veterans in the past to fulfill that hope and secure that sacred promise, we shall surely depend on them in the future. We honor you today. You represent the millions of American men and women who, through their bravery, have stepped into harm's way to protect us and our freedom. That realization causes us to pause and realize your dedication to the preservation of our democracy. We recognize that in answering the call to serve, you were not seeking personal gain or even fame. Your country called you. You answered with a simple, patriotic response. You returned home convinced that you had done something worthwhile, something to make this world a better place to live. You served in the cause of freedom for all mankind. You showed the whole world that Americans were prepared to leave the safety of your country to defend the ideals of peace, freedom, and democracy for those threatened by aggression. The word freedom has a special meaning for Americans. The unquenchable thirst for peace and freedom lies deep within the heart and soul of Americans. You know what it is to fight for that freedom. John F. Kennedy once said that a nation reveals itself not only by the men it produces, but also by the men it honors and the men that it remembers. This evening we honor you, our veterans, and understand that you are the embodiment of the spirit which has guided our nation for over 200 years. This spirit has and will continue to keep America free. Because of your sacrifice, the United States continues to be the greatest nation the world has ever known. And at this time, we'd like to ask you to stand if you could. Give us your name and the branch of the military in which you have served. And we'll start right here on the front row.
George Bruton, United States Navy.
James Powers, United States Navy.
Fred?
Robert, were you gonna go ahead?
What?
I didn't hear you.
Well, I was waiting on Fred.
Fred Clements, Army.
Kenneth Henry, Army.
Robert Hooton, Army.
Robert Clark, Army.
J.D. Cage, Army.
Robert Alexander, Army.
David Vela, Army.
Glenn Ryan, Navy.
Bob Flores, Marine Corps.
Donald Phelps, Korean conflict.
Roy Rice, Air Force.
Thank you. The next thing we'd like to do is, the council would like to come down and shake your hand and tell you how much we appreciate your service.
Before you do that, Mr. Rowley would like for you to read that.
Okay. Who would like to?
Call
Okay. Mr. Rowley requests that we might read this, and it says simply this. Jesus says, "There's no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends." That is in John chapter 15, verse 13. Very fitting. Thank you, Mr. Riley. So if you would, we're going to come down and shake your hands and tell you how much we appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you guys for being here tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you, Secretary.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Bruce.
Thank you, Mr. Riley.
Well, thanks for being here. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
David, come tell us.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir. Nice to meet
Thank
you.
you for being here.
Just fine, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Fred, how you doing? All right, good to see you. Thank you. You bet. Thank you. How are you?
Good.
Good, Donald?
Looking good.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chief Phelps. I appreciate it.
Yes, I am. I am. Oh my gosh, it's such a small world.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. I know, sir. You know what? Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here.
Very warm. Okay. We're going to take a minute, and Mr. Donald Phelps would like to say a few words to you veterans about the honor flight that he was a part of last month. You want to come to the front of the room, and he wants to tell you how you could be a part of that.
I don't know how many of you know about the Texas South Plains Honor Flight, but it's an awesome thing. And to get on it, all you have to do is submit an application, and They go by the wars. World War I gets first choice at being on the flight, then the Korean conflict, then Vietnam, and I think they're gonna start the Desert Storm veterans. And all you got to do is submit an application, and they'll take good care of you. It was an awesome thing for me. They fly you from Lubbock to Baltimore, and then they got charter buses that you go from Baltimore to Washington DC. And folks, there's a bunch to see up there. And I just wanted y'all to know, if you didn't know about it and you were interested in going, why, that's all you have to do. Everything's furnished, your food, the flight, the charter buses, good meals at the hotel, and they don't cost you nothing. That's the good part of it. And it is, the South Plains Honor Flight is, they have fundraisers periodically, and that's how it is financed. And it was an awesome thing. And I just wanted, if you didn't know about it, to tell you about it, and how you can be a part of it. Thank you.
Mr. Phelps, how do you acquire those applications?
I'll contact me for right now, and I don't have any, but if you submit your application now, it will be good for 2016. And it's awesome.
How often do they do
Once a year.
Once a year.
And this is the 5th year that they've had this. And it is strictly to honor veterans.
Good program. I appreciate the folks that do that.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a word of information, if there's any of you would like to find out more about that, not this week, but next week, Channel 11, KCBD in Lubbock, at the 10 o'clock news, will use part of their newscast to furnish you with the honor flight journey each night next week. So those of you that would like to see all the things that happened and all the people that went and all the things that went on up there, that's a good place to do that. So you can watch it on Channel 11 next week. Okay. Anybody else have any comments or
You can get that application online.
okay, you can get the application online. If you go to
Texas South Plains Honor Flight.org.
TexasSouthPlainsHonorFlight.org. And so we wish you luck in that and wish you could all be there.
And
Mayor.
they will take wheelchair people.
Okay?
They furnish wheelchairs. So don't let your handicap stand in your way if you want to go.
They have a lot of people that go along with the flight too, that furnish assistance and direction.
That's right, they have
Accompaniment.
They have nurses, they have EMS people, and they have guardians that if a person needs help, why, they're right there to help that person.
It's a good thing, so we hope you all participate in that.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
we will print out some of those applications and have them available here at the City Hall if anybody wants to pick some up.
Thank you. So once again, we want to thank you for taking time to be here, and we truly want to thank you for the commitments you made in your life, and thanks for helping be a part of our country's history and protecting our country. So thank you very much. We're going to continue on in our agenda. First thing that we would like to do is to approve the minutes of the October 19th meeting. I trust that you all read those, and I'll make a motion we approve those.
I'll second that.
Do we have a second? Is there any discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Our, let me stop for just a second. We would love for you to be here tonight during our meeting. It's always wonderful that we have guests here. Most of the time we don't have a lot of people that come in and watch what we do, and we'd love to have you. But if you would like at any time, you can sneak out the door, so it's your option. So, but we're glad to have you and want you to stick around if you'd like. So.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very nice of you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks again.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
We're not gonna start with the meeting.
The next thing we'd like to do on our agenda is to approve the minutes of the November 2nd meeting of this year.
I'll make a motion to approve those.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve those. Did you get that, Lee?
Yes, sir.
Motion and second. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next thing we'd like to do is approve the minutes of the November 3rd meeting. I'll make a motion, we approve those. We have a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion carries. David, did you say Vince was going to be here?
Well, we thought he was. Slater is sending him a text, but I can give you a report that's not going to have real accurate numbers, but it's going to be pretty close.
Okay, well, the next thing we're going to do is to receive information regarding the refinancing of the city's bonds. So I'm going to let you go for that.
We did get a call last Thursday. In fact, we were able to go online and watch the bidding on the, when they put it on the open market. They had some bids for, that came in at 2.02%, which is considerably less than half of what we've been paying. Then the bonds went on the open market through a bid process, and those bids came in even better than the offers that we had, but I'm not sure where those numbers ended up, but it's somewhere less than 2.02%. So.
So there is that possibility that we'll save even more money than
Yes,
we had predicted.
yes, it's going to save more than, I can't tell you how much more, but it will be more.
Good.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. So. All right. We'll have those numbers ready maybe next month.
I hope, we should have, yes.
Sounds good. Next thing we'd like to do is to consider ordinance number 0484-1115, amending the budget for the fiscal year 2015-2016. And this ordinance corrects a few omissions from the budget we adopted in September and makes some adjustment for the airport. I'm going to let you tell us about the airport.
It does, it corrects some omissions that were adopted in that budget, and then the project at the airport, we budgeted $285,000 for our part of the $2 million project. Because of some funding and the timing of the funding and some of the costs that's coming in, that project has been bumped from spring of 2016 to spring of 2017. So we removed those funds from this budget with this ordinance,
Okay.
and those will be in next year's budget.
Anybody have any questions from David?
Make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion, and I'll second it, that we approve ordinance number 0484-1115 that amends the budget for the fiscal year of 2015.
Is it 484 or 483? In the notes it says 484, but in the
In the ordinance it says 483. 483.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
note that correction. 483-1115. And I still make a motion to approve that or second it. So, is there any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next thing we'd like to do is to consider resolution number R711-1115. Is that the right number?
That's the right number.
Okay. And that actually designates the city's official newspaper. We went out on bids on that, and we We received the lowest bid from Mr. Thornton in the Muleshoe Journal on public publishing rates. So, but the Muleshoe Journal best fits the requirements of a designated newspaper and has for many years.
I'll make a motion, we approve said resolution.
I'll second.
We have a motion second to designate the Muleshoe Journal as the city's official newspaper. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into closed session. And this is in accordance with Vernon's Texas Codes, Government Section 551.074, to discuss the city manager appointment in regards to personnel matters.
Thank you, guys.
Thank y'all for being here. And so, we're going to ask most all of you to give us a break and go drink coffee.
Coffee's ready.
We'll let you know when we'll open the doors again. I now declare that the Muleshoe City Council is convened into open session and that all members are still present. We are not going to take any action on the closed session tonight. We'd like to have a little more time to think about it. And we'll let the public know when our next meeting will be. And what we would like to do, the next thing on our agenda is to have the administrative reports.
Thanks, Mayor.
Oops, we forgot Slater.
He's taking a nap. We had some staff members that attended the TML Region III meeting on October 22nd. I'm going to let the council know, and you'll be getting a notice, I'm assuming, about the Christmas party. It's going to be December the 8th, the 9th, at the Country Club. It'll be at noon. Also want to tell the council, you may or may not know, that Leanne was featured in the public profile in the Amarillo Globe News over the weekend.
Really?
Congratulations.
If you get a chance to look at that, it's a nice article. And that's all I've got, Mayor.
Thank you. The mayor and council remarks. One thing I wanted to say is how cool I think the new decals on the police cars look. I want to thank the public for that donation, and I appreciate that.
I do too.
Me too. And I think it had some really good publicity on that, and I think that's just pretty cool.
Well, they were real excited to put them on there.
Good, thank you.
You inspired one of your neighbors that'll have theirs on by Thursday.
Do what?
I said you've inspired one of your neighbors who will have them on their cars by Thursday.
And we want the public to know that that was done with public donations, and we appreciate that. It's a good thing. We have great public support. Anybody else?
I want to thank everybody for their time.
Yes. We thank you guys for hanging around. We wish we had some news, but we will get to that at a later date. Okay? Now, anybody else? I now declare the meeting adjourned. And thank you all again for being here.